friends, I'm Megan.
And I'm Jessie.
Hey Jessie, that's a cool crown.
Thanks. I'm getting us ready for today's Bible story. I can't wait to hear all about King Saul and how he ruled over the Israelites.
Well, Jessie, I better warn you that today's Bible story is not a happy one.
It's not?
I'm afraid not. King Saul made some wrong choices.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is right. There are lots of kings in the Bible, and we're going to learn about many of them. But only one of those kings was perfect.
Jesus!
Yes, King Jesus never sinned. He is the only perfect king. That's why Jesus is our king forever. Here's today's Bible story. When Saul became king of Israel, he built an army. One day, Saul took a group of soldiers with him into the hills. Saul's son Jonathan took another group of soldiers to a nearby city. Jonathan and his army ran into a group of Philistines. The Philistines were enemies of Israel. They did not get along with God's people. Jonathan and his army fought with some of the Philistines, and the soldiers destroyed one of the Philistines' army camps. The Philistines were mad. They were ready to go to war against the Israelites. The Israelites were afraid. The Philistines had more soldiers, more chariots, and more horses than the Israelites. Surely they would win. So some of the Israelites hid in caves. King Saul did not know what to do. Maybe if he made a sacrifice to God, then God would help them. But Saul was not allowed to make sacrifices. Only Samuel was supposed to do that. Saul waited and waited for Samuel to come. He waited for 7 days, but Samuel did not come. So Saul made the sacrifice himself. Then Samuel came. "Saul, what are you doing?" Samuel asked. "You were not here and the soldiers started to leave. I asked God for help to fight the Philistines," Saul said. "You have done the wrong thing by offering the sacrifice," Samuel said. "You will not be king for very long. God is going to find someone else to be king, someone who obeys him." Later, God spoke to Samuel. God wanted Saul to fight the Amalekites. God said that when the Israelites won the battle, they should destroy everything, even the animals. So the Israelites fought the Amalekites, and they won the battle. But Saul did not do what God wanted him to do. He kept the best cattle, sheep, and animals. The army only destroyed the things nobody wanted. God said to Samuel, "If Saul doesn't obey me, I do not want him to be king." Samuel told Saul that God was angry with him. Saul was sad. He wanted to be king, but God was going to give Israel a new king, a king who obeyed God. King Saul offered a sacrifice that only the priest was allowed to give. God rejected Saul as king, but he had a plan to send his son Jesus. King Jesus never sinned, and he gave his life as the perfect sacrifice for us.